All right, welcome back to Inside with Brett Hawk. I'm a swim nerd. We're all swim nerds. Today on the show, fresh off our week in Texas with the legend Eddie Reese, we have another Texas Longhorn, the guy that was stuck in the comments section the entire time during the inter-squad meet. NCAA champion, Austin Surhov. What is up?
What's up, fellas?
What's happening? Welcome to our shitty podcast with a couple of washed up athletes. Too soon? Okay.
Never.
It's a private joke there, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's stuff that you guys are washed. That's too bad.
Sonny,
what's happening?
Naples?
I'm back in Plymouth now. I'm actually coming to you from Ben Proud's house, where I'm now a resident.
The furnishings look excellent.
Yeah.
Ben Proud's house. Well, you live
He
with
doesn't
Ben
live here.
Proud.
No, Ben doesn't live in Plymouth, but he has a house here, and I needed a house, so Ben looked after me.
All right. Well, let's just jump right into it then. We have some ISL going on. I wrote the bottom four, but whatever you want. What is it? The play-in, as they call it? It's a playoff. It's a wild card match. Okay. The four bottom teams, DC, Iron, Tokyo, New York Breakers, they're all getting after it yesterday and today. They're about to start, and I think they got pushed back a little bit, I think, but they should be starting in a couple hours.
Starting what?
No. It was today, and it's tomorrow.
Dude, they swam, man.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay, good. Sorry.
It's from today. They're going to race again tomorrow. It's just much earlier than all the other matches up until now. It was like 1 till 3 instead of 8 till 10 p.m.
All right. So did you watch it?
As I said, I'm in Plymouth, not in Naples, and I've not got the subscription. So.
Oh, I didn't watch it all.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
At least explain to us how this works. Like the team that wins, they're going to go in the playoffs. Is that what's happening?
So the top two teams here, regular season, what points, where they've come in the last 4 matches is irrelevant. The top 2 teams out of the teams you mentioned that you can see at the bottom of the ticker there, the top 2 teams tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon will go through to the playoffs in Eindhoven. And the bottom 2 teams, they're done. They're going home. Their season's finished.
Wow. Yeah, I call this the Battle of the Bastards in reference to Game of Thrones. Yeah, this is a fair battle. It's on. Are you surprised by the results after day one here, Sonny?
Honestly, all of the teams, with the exception of New York Breakers, have shown moments of awesomeness because, Tokyo have some big hitters with the likes of Daya Sato, who is just a phenomenal athlete. Seeing him in the flesh is unreal. And, DC surprised us the last time we raced them. Iron looked really good on the second day in their match literally 2 days ago. So, all of these teams, when they go against each other, it gets really exciting. And, obviously I like the matches that Energy are in, but I really like watching the matches like this because they're close and, you don't actually know who's going to win because these teams come 3rd or 4th normally. So, and even New York, they've won a few races and they're not far off Tokyo and Iron here. So, I think it's exciting, and I still don't know. This top 1 to 4 will change tomorrow in some way.
Right, Sonny, you got any inside word on what happened yesterday here?
I mean, look at the comments. Someone's probably got it right in the comments.
Yeah.
Someone hacked him, huh?
No, I just think basically the live stream's been on and off, right? I've had weeks where it worked perfectly, like just unbelievable. I still think they're going in the right direction. Obviously, they got to figure out what the heck's going on, whether it's not enough server space or what. But yeah, when you can't watch it, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
But there were some good swims yesterday in today.
Definitely like a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Time zones, they're tough.
They are tough. Brendan Smith, undefeated this year, 400 freestyle, just an animal. I think he just 337.1. No one was even close to him. Did anyone get any rest this meet? What else is there going on? Are they getting a few days off? That was much better than what he had gone. I think he's been sub 340 a couple times, but
I would have thought that. Sonny, was there any talk over there from guys on your team having to shave or when to shave? I'm sure some of these guys may have been in that position now, hey?
Talking to some of the New York guys, they sort of knew they were going to be in this match, so they sort of went with the ethos of, we don't care what happens in match 1 to 4, but we're going to be at the best we can be. If there's any chance of us getting to Eindhoven, because it doesn't matter. They can come 4-4-4-4, and if they come second here, they go through. With our team, we sort of had that mindset we wanted to win every match. So we was a little bit more selective with the training, and we gave everyone a chance every match to swim good. Some of the guys shaved. I know Ilya Shimanovic shaved before match 3 and match 4. The American lad we had, Charlie Swanson, he shaved for the last match. So we did have a few shave, and a few just didn't touch a razor like Chad. We had to force him to shave his beard off before the last match.
Right.
he doesn't shave anyways.
No.
So
Renzo up in the comments section. Nice.
Bruno,
Yeah.
you still on vacay, buddy?
Bruno, you can join us here if you want to jump on. I'll send you the link, man. Don't be afraid. Come on, get your face on here.
We need Bruno.
We need Bruno. Bruno. Austin, you watching the ISL? Have you watched a match?
I'm keeping a flyover finger on the pulse. I haven't really been watching too much, just because of like the time differences you guys have also been struggling with. No, I did not watch yesterday. Just been keeping up with the swim articles.
Today.
Today. All right, today. I was asleep when it happened, so we're calling it yesterday. Pebley had a pretty sick 2 back. That was pretty awesome.
Oh, that's a good point.
Love seeing the hometown team, the Trident, out to an early lead. Baltimore guy, born and raised, big Ravens and Orioles fan. So I add the Trident to the list of teams that I support.
Right.
Pebley with the best time, 148.5 in that 200 backstroke, fastest of the entire ISL season, faster than your Russian boy Relov.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he did go 149 after 10 days isolation because Vladimir Putin wanted to shake his hand and called him back to Russia.
I did see that picture. It's pretty cool.
Is it true that he just has like Olympians out to like this big compound and then he just like shakes their hand and hands them a bunch of cash? I've heard that's the case.
We literally 2 days before match 2 was told Evgeny has been like summoned back, and off he went. We got him back for match 3, and he had a BMW keychain. He got a BMW, and he had a nice picture wearing his medals with Vladimir Putin, and he was happy.
Wow, that's epic.
That's very cool.
Oh man!
Speaking of Russians, what's going on with Vlad? Hey, where's Vlad gone? Somebody.
Morozov?
Oh yeah,
21-5 today. I think he comes
21-5.
There was a time 2-3 years ago where he went 20.2 to 20.6, like clockwork. World Cup, World Short Course, Russian champs, European champs, relays.
Yeah, never any 21s.
I don't think. God.
Well, you guys have no idea how many people emailed me or texted me after watching these Eddie Reese interviews and the one with Wyatt Collins, and everyone was like, yo, I didn't know Brett was so jacked. I didn't know he was so pumped.
I don't know what's going on. It's just the television. Television adds 10 pounds, and it obviously went straight to my arms.
No way. I did a swim clinic with Brett back in July, and he got in, and it was full-on pythons, dude.
I mean, that's what happens when all you do is curls. I mean, it's not that hard.
Well, we saw Renzo in the comments. He's doing some bicep curls listening to us. Maybe we should take a curl break as a group. Just make sure we get it 3 sets of 10 just to get some volume in.
Let's do some predictions here. Around the room, Sonny, who's going to take the top 2 spots here tomorrow?
Iron and DC, but I think Iron will overtake DC. They're good at the skins. They have a good second day. I think Iron and DC.
Right, yeah. Anyone different to that? I mean, I feel the same way pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I want to take the hometown team. I want to take DC, but the last time I went against Sonny, Britain smashed America in an 8 free relay. So I'm just going to defer to your expertise, man. But I hope my Trident stay in first.
Oh, they look good. It's crazy about Tokyo because Tokyo have the best sponsors of any team. They are actually like almost self-sustained with sponsors and financial and stuff like that. And they don't look super sharp. I mean,
Yeah.
Other than Dyer and a couple others, Page Madden, and a few others, they're not swimming great.
Just off the super technical swimming topic for a sec, going off what you said, Sonny, their branding is sick. Like, I love their logo. I love the team name. I love the colors. I love the social that they do. The Frog Kings are super, super cool.
They've got everything. They've got
that frog, though.
The what?
Why don't they have a little crown on that frog?
Right. Well, they do for their like the emojis they do. They'll just have like frog emoji, crown emoji, which is equally cool. So yeah, maybe they'll add a crown at some point. But I just wanted to give a shout out to their branding. I think it's super tight.
It's the same in Naples. Their kit bags are branded. Their bags are branded. They've got a massive frog that sits in the box, like a big plushy frog.
Mm.
They've got it all. They've got the look, but yeah, they're not going to get to Eindhoven.
Mm-hmm. And then before we move on, quick shout out to rookie Ryan Hoffer getting a big touch yesterday in the 50 free, also for my Trident.
21-1.
Yeah.
Victory.
Yeah. That's getting down there. That's some good swimming, down 21 flats.
He just needs some rest and he could win. The person that I think is swam the best yesterday that I want to watch today. Tonight is
we're doing it every time.
Simonova.
Mm-hmm.
I think she split 51 on the iron relay and the 100 freestyle. She almost won the 400, but she's really a 200 swimmer. 51 for a 200 swimmer is pretty daggone amazing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what she goes.
Actually, shout out to my girl Ali Tetslov. Swam with me at Auburn, won the 100 fly today.
56 flat, really nice.
Good for her, great swim. Yeah.
She's been on an awesome path as a pro ever since she stopped doing college. Like just slowly making her way up, doing better every season. I mean, she started out as relay only for the current that first year that the ISL was around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool seeing her flourish and then take a jumping off point from getting top 8 at trials too.
Great example right there of a professional athlete climbing the ranks and becoming more and more professional, and then getting a win today. It's huge. I agree. Look at this.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
We got a new member.
What's up, everybody?
Can you turn your camera sideways so we go long ways? There we go.
Oh no, I'm on my cell phone. I just got home from the.
There we go.
There. Oh, you just flew in from Brazil?
Just flew in from Brazil, man. Had a tough night of cancellations and flight delays, but I'm glad I'm making it back.
Wow, yeah. You look rough too, man. Look at the beard. Full grown.
Yeah.
It looks good actually.
Looking rough, man. Looking like a swimmer ready to get into fall training,
You're hungry for some more training again, huh? You had enough break?
I had enough break, man. 2 months of break. It's enough. I mean, I haven't been on a break, but 2 months of not training, not holding to a schedule, it gets you soft. And all that people tapping your back at the same time and telling you how amazing you are and all that and congratulating you. It's time to get back in the cave,
Yeah, I love it.
Time to get back into the darkness.
Yes.
Well, listen, man, we've got some topics we want to go through. Stay with us for a sec here. We're going to talk some British swimming here, right?
Did you see Adam Peaty dance?
Even if I didn't want to see Adam Peaty dance, which I did want, that Twitter was all over it. So it crossed my timeline eventually. I thought it was amazing. That guy, I mean, he's not only a swimmer. He got the moves.
It was unbelievable.
He looked good.
I thought.
Yeah, he looked good. I thought. I mean, he always looks fit, but you put like a tight shirt on him, some tight pants, and you're like, damn,
exactly.
Damn, he's fit.
His backs were looking godly on that shirt.
Yeah. And then he could move.
There was a lot of comments on social media about his hips.
His hips were back and forth.
Yeah.
Hips
in and out.
Hips don't lie. Never do.
They don't.
I'd love to see him on the first day to see how bad they are. I can only imagine how bad I am at dancing first day. But if you obviously have one of the best partners in the world.
He was not bad at all. And it comes down to athleticism, I think. I mean, Adam's such an amazing athlete that anything he puts himself into, he's going to do great. I mean, if you want to play rugby or if you want to run or anything else, he wants to play, compete, he's going to do amazing because of his ability with his own body, you know, his athleticism.
Yeah, he's an athlete. But I got 2 left feet, man. I'm not doing that. No way.
So the real question, Sonny, is who's the better dancer, Adam Peaty or Mark Foster?
See, I don't know Adam that well, and I know Mark, so I've got to give it to Mark. But Adam was good. Adam was good. Apparently, there's a thing like they put the last person, the person they put last on like the order is who they think is going to be good because it's good for ratings to finish on a high, and they put Adam last, and he was really good. And I hope he wins because that means he won't be doing any more. He won't do any ISL. And that's really good for Energy Standard because we're good at breaststroke. So I'm backing him just for that.
We were told he's not doing ISL already, but give us some. We don't know the competition over there. Have you seen any? You know the British people. Who's the competition? Who's he up against?
Oh, God knows. I know sports and I know swimming. Do you guys have a show like that in Brazil? Surely there's like a Brazilian or an American version of this.
Yeah, everyone's got one of these.
Yeah, we had Thiago Pereira.
Yeah.
Going to some Dancing with the Stars type of thing in Brazil. But I don't know, man. I don't watch much TV. I don't think he won.
They haven't asked you to do it yet?
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, you're on a cooking show though, right?
What?
You just did a cooking show competition.
Yes. Me and Michelle, we were in a cooking show, and it's still not in the air yet. I think it's going to be broadcasted. It's going to be on TV next month.
So you can't tell us if you won or lost. Then
I'm all into cooking shows, into talk shows. We did a talk show last night, and that's about it. I can't dance on TV, man. I couldn't dance to save my life.
You can't bust out a foxtrot, Bruno?
What?
You can't bust out a foxtrot? Maybe a little Texas two-step or something like that?
I don't even know what that means, sir.
Surely Brazilian is like flamenco and salsa dancing, right? That's Brazilian, Latin American? Oh, am I wrong?
Oh, dude, you just said a Spanish dance.
That's racist.
That was racist.
Portuguese, man. It's Portuguese.
I'm so sorry.
No, man, flamenco. I think it's Spanish.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we do have samba though. We do have samba, but
samba.
I don't have the ability.
That's what in my head I was thinking samba. That's definitely the one.
Okay, man, you get a pass this one time.
Oh, that's right. Someone said Bloom's on a show too. Did anyone see Bloom dance?
She looked good as well.
She's not on that show. She's on the Danish version, right?
The Danish version. Yeah.
So we gotta pull that up. I haven't seen her. All right, let's keep it moving here. Enough dancing. Let's talk about sprinting freestyle. China just had their nationals. They broke the 50 freestyle, something a couple of guys in here know a little bit about, in both the men's and the women's first woman under 24 seconds.
Oh, a woman went under 24. What did the guy go?
21.68.
21.6. Bruno, hey? What about that? That's legit.
Yeah, kind of a wrong timing too.
He missed it by a month.
He should have swum a 21.6 a couple months ago, but that's all right.
Was that kid at the Olympics?
Yeah.
But good. I mean, I think we're all still kind of recovering from the impact that the whole quarantine, COVID, and shutdown, lockdowns had in training. You know, and that's actually we're gonna see who's swimming really fast. I think starting from next Worlds, where everybody's gonna be able to have some consistency in training instead of just swimming whatever pool's open.
Yeah. I think we've seen the Chinese be incredible at the 200, the 400, the distance events in freestyle, but we haven't really seen a Chinese superstar come in and win the 50 and 100 freestyle.
There was that guy back in 15, right? He won the 100.
Oh yeah.
Right.
The dude who was known for his abs.
Ning Zhao.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I think it was Zhao Ning, something like that.
Yeah, whatever happened to him? He was legit.
It's a good
He's
question.
retired. I saw he had a real soft retirement. It was barely reported, but I think he retired in the last couple of years.
Right. Yeah. It's strange with the Chinese, man. They come and go, and like it's just you just never know when they're coming, and you never know when they're going. It's just there's one great swim gone. I don't know.
They're both 25. Liu Xiang is 25. I mean,
Right.
she had been 24-0 before. So to see her still in the sport, that's a good thing. Still going best times, that's a great thing, especially for China.
Renzo said he's half Chinese. That means he's half as fast.
Nate, who was it that went 21-6? What was his name?
Liu Hexin.
He was 22-1 in Tokyo. 22-1. Didn't make the semis.
I think he went 21-8, like to get to Tokyo.
Joint 19th he was. Joint 19th of a Croatian
Bruno,
fella.
is there a big difference between 21-6 and 22 flat?
Yes, I think so.
Mm-mm.
There's a difference in for me. There's a difference into how high I'm feeling the water. How light my stroke feels. If I try to muscle through, if I try to force my stroke, that's a 22-0. If I start dipping right under 21-6, 21-5, that's when I feel really on top of the water, really light.
Right.
But that's mainly in terms of feeling. That's mainly, it's almost like an unshaved and a shaved swim.
Right. Okay.
Well, we saw a couple of these sprinters then, have some really horrible swims, right? Like 3 or 4 tenths is a light year behind. The same thing happened to Ari-Pekka Lukin, the Finnish guy, right? I think he was 21-4 or 21-5 or right around there, national record, and boom, he didn't even break 22. I don't even know if he made semis.
Yeah, but
how are they off so much?
There's a thing a lot of people don't know. It's that first there's a mental aspect that really plays in the Olympics. It took me a couple of Olympic games to understand how to manage it, and finally on my third Olympics I knew exactly how to deal with it. And then there's the fact that the Olympics is everything as far as a perfect scenario as it gets. The rooms are not that comfortable. The food, you just eat whatever. They serve you at dining hall. And then there's the bus rides. And, you walk a lot in the village. So a lot of people don't know how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe when you're at trials, you're just at the best hotel with the best food, with the best, everything. And when you go to the Olympics, they just drop you right there in the village and they just say, hey, figure it out.
Right. Yep. For sure.
Actually, it was Ben Proud, and I talked to him a day before the race, and he was like, and I told him, well, I haven't seen him in the whole week. So I was like, hey man, I thought you were not gonna show up. I was starting to get to worry about you. Where have you been? And I was like, oh, I was in another place because I didn't want to walk so much in the village. So that's something that really comes into play, and some people really try to come with strategies to go around all this walking and food and bed and everything.
Mm-hmm. It's funny when you spend a week in Brazil, your English goes downhill again.
Oh my God!
You start thinking. I can hear you thinking about the words instead of just letting them come out.
Yeah. The problem is that most of the times I just I think in Portuguese and I have to translate as it goes.
Right.
And I live in Florida, which doesn't help at all.
Everyone speaks Portuguese.
Dude, in Florida, English, I think, is my third or fourth language. I speak Portuguese. I speak a lot of Spanish. I speak, eventually I do speak Italian at some places that I go. And English comes out being the fourth language or so.
Love it. Okay. All right, let's move on here, Nate.
Keeping it moving here. NC State's Noe Ponti, the Swiss boy who got third in the 100 fly at the Olympics. He came over to NC State. He hung out for about a month. He's back home in Switzerland. Huge hole for NC State, who thought they were going to have the number one recruiting class with all these great kids like Aiden Hayes and, of course, Ponti. And now he's kind of out of the equation and out of all those relays. Does this sink that NC State battleship trying to get to the top spot there?
Austin?
You cut. It's tough, man. I read through the Instagram post, and Just seems like it's a lot being over here in a really tough time period. As far as it relates to NC State, I mean, they still have arguably the number 1 guy, maybe number 2 guy in David Curtis, who, you know, that's the exact kind of guy that you want as the linchpin for a class. So I think they'll still be okay. It might cost them maybe a spot or 2 at NC's, but maybe a spot at most. But I trust that coaching staff and that team to still get it done and have next man up.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, the first month for a foreign athlete, always tough. I had a bunch who struggled in that period. You know, what you want to try and do is get them through Christmas, and Christmas training is a lot of fun. You kind of get them over that hump, and you know, if you can get there, great. But it sounds like he just wasn't ready for this because of the fact of the whole Olympic success, and then boom, you're in another country all of a sudden, and just didn't have time to process it all, you know. And it's a big loss for them. It's a big loss for him, man. You know, he could have been in a situation where he had something new and fresh and exciting and really grown from it. So, but at the same time, you know, he seems happy at home. So, and he's obviously been successful. But so yeah, it's a bummer, but it certainly has happened to me a few times.
Yeah, who knows how long he hasn't slept in his bed, right?
Is it in Switzerland? Do they have a government-based training facility that he's going back to? Like, is that where his coach is, or is it like a club that he's going back to?
We got to call Nico.
Because I think
I got no idea.
Sonny, you have any idea on that?
Let's see.
No, I don't know.
Nico Messer, this is the second time we've called you to get on this podcast.
Oh yeah, it's a club. Never mind.
No, I mean, who knows? Honestly, when I was coaching, we saw a lot of freshmen. Obviously, homesickness is a real thing. I get homesick super bad anytime I leave my house. I don't know why. But what I used to see a lot was boyfriend or girlfriend is back home. You know,
right.
And it's just they walk into practice and they're on the phone. Mm-hmm. And they get out of the water, they're on their phone. Mm-hmm. I saw that every single class we ever recruited, boys and girls. It's just that age. I'm not sure this is what's going on with him, but I'm just saying this is what I saw a lot of.
Good point. Hugo Gonzalez, great example right there.
Bingo.
When you are 18, the boyfriend/girlfriend it's like the apocalypse if it's not going right.
Especially if it's these young people's first relationship. Puppy love, it's over. You know,
Bruno. What's the best way to assimilate Bruno for a foreign athlete? What's your recommendation in terms of assimilation?
Hey, I just made my wife into one of my coaches, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm the best reference.
I mean, you know, coming to America, there's things that you've got to leave behind. There's things you've got to adopt.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it comes down to build yourself a support system with people you trust. You know, that's something I was just telling Murilo Sartori, who went to Louisville. He just came to Louisville this year. That it's important for him to surround himself with positive people and people he can trust. That way you start building relationships, because the problem comes when you start feeling lonely, you know? And because, especially for us Brazilians, because of the cultural differences, especially for kids that go really deep south or Midwest, there are a lot of cultural differences that can come into play in this aspect. So I think it's about surrounding yourself with people you trust and just find ways to feel at home, like doing things you like, trying to find places that serve comfort food for you, and stay in touch with people back home. But most importantly, it's you just need to have your goals straight, you know.
Yeah.
As you guys were saying about girlfriends, boyfriends, and such. I mean, you came to this country for a reason, and you came into a collegiate program for a reason. So just don't be all over the phone all the time, you know. I mean, go to practice and make sure you get your rest, make sure you're focused, make sure you're in tune with the rest of the team. and time's gonna heal everything else.
Yeah. Get yourself an American girlfriend. Always helps.
But that didn't work so well for some of my friends that came here. Right?
All right, so he's going
Hey,
home.
just real quick. I just came from the airport, so I have a few things I need to taken care of here, like lunch and
See you, man.
everything. So nice talking to you guys.
Later, brother.
All the best, Bruno.
I'll get myself an English teacher for next time.
See you, man.
But next time I come to this shitty podcast with such washed up people.
Maybe bring a better camera next time. I feel like I'm watching a Snapchat.
Less of a washed up English.
Fair point. Listen, well, I'm going to kick your ass tomorrow. It's day 1, so get some rest.
Sir, let's go.
See you, Bruno.
Bye-bye.
Later, man.
See you later.
Jesus. All
Too
right.
funny. All right, keeping it moving here. Shaine Casas he's going to Texas. He's just not going to swim at the University of Texas for the University of Texas. He's just going to be swimming at the University of Texas as a professional swimmer. We heard a lot of rumblings when we were in Austin, a couple of days leading up before we went live on the inter-squad meet. And we obviously felt like we didn't want to say anything because it hadn't broken. It wasn't our place to say anything. We're going to let him do that. And now he's done that. Brett, what were you hearing down there in Texas?
Yeah, I mean, there was some school issues, that I think Austin maybe I'd spoken to you about this as well. It's like there's so many different issues. It's not just a matter of transferring, like from school to school. He's in state. He's there's so many rules and regulations. Yeah, majors, all that stuff. So I heard there was some schooling issues, and in the end, Eddie just said, "Listen, it's just going to cause too much trouble to transfer to rivals." Austin, talk to us about the rivalry between these two schools.
Sure. It's one that is, I can only refer to when I was in school, and I'm sure in the last year or two since A&M's come on the scene, it's risen a little bit. But when I was in school, just as an athletics department, we were in the Big 12. We hated A&M. But within the swim teams, it was always super friendly, except for this one time they came to our pool for a dual meet and they suited up on us without telling us. So we went into the locker room at the halfway point of the meet, suited up, and then just kicked their ass. So the rivalry comes out here and there. I don't know how them leaving for the SEC has affected the swimming rivalry in the time since I've been in school. But I imagine it is I could see it being a very sore feeling because this new coaching staff at A&M such a great job. He's by far their best recruit. He's the linchpin for their success that they had last year. It's probably tough to lose him to, the team in the state that they're probably having the goal of trying to overtake one day,
Right.
I mean, I would say if you're talking rivalry, I don't know those coaches at all, but I could see the goal that they have for themselves of like, we're taking over this state, and they wanted to start with Shaine. So it's a tough thing.
Yep. And
what do you guys think? What do you see?
Well, I think it helps
in
everybody
that, in
that's
that
not
specific
Texas.
regard. In that specific regard of like the A&M Texas relationship.
I'm not so sure about the rivalry. Like Texas has been Texas for so long. I know Texas A&M has gotten so much better. But man, everyone thought the greatest NCAA swimmer last year is going to go to Texas, the greatest swimming team last year, and make that team even more unstoppable. Now he's not going to be there. It certainly helps Cal, certainly helps anyone else that's vying for this national championship this year, that Shaine is just going to be a professional swimmer. I think what I'm excited to see is him being in a different place. I think changing coaches and changing environments is not usually a bad thing. It's almost always the best thing. It's hard when you're the same coach to keep it fresh all the time, especially when you've been with someone for so many years. So this guy has real potential, like world record potential.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of pressure was put on him leading up to the Olympics. He didn't make it, and now he's got a short timeline to fix the things that were not working for himself, and he's going to do that at arguably the best place you could ever try to go.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny, have you seen this kid swim?
I'm not. I've watched him race on online, but or on TV, never in person. But I think it's good for his integrity. I think that's a it's a shady, not shady, but it's a bit of a dick thing to do, swapping from clubs to club like that. And I know you can't fault him for going and wanting to swim under the coaches there, but you can, at a collegiate level. And I think it's a good look for Shaine going pro now, and you can't hate him for wanting to swim at a different program. As you said, changing a stimulus is never a bad thing, and he didn't probably do what he wanted to do long course this year, and now he's going to try and do that this year, make the world championship team, swim on the international level, and see if he can show what he can do there. So all the best.
Listen, I got to tell you, there was multiple times while I was there, Eddie said specifically, this guy will be a world record holder within 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple times. Yeah, like Eddie, he's high on Eddie's list of kids that have extreme talent and can swim. Him and Eddie have some special connection, and it seems like they're going to unite it and figure it out, and let's see what happens. Work some magic, Eddie. Yeah,
and two parting comments about it if we're about to move on, because Nate, since you addressed the NCAA aspect of it, I didn't realize you were asking about how does it impact Texas on the NCAA level that he's not on the team as a college kid. I can tell you just from knowing Eddie and having no insider knowledge about this specific situation, it's the last thing Eddie's worried about. I think he's just happy that he's coaching the kid and he gets a chance to make him faster. You guys know that from spending time with him, that's how he's wired. And they also still have the team that should mop the floor this year. I mean, they got mop the floor. Yes. I mean, they got the number one recruit. They got the number one recruit in Grimm. They got the Olympian diver coming back in Wendell. Right? I'm not mistaken on that, right?
Yeah, the diving is insane.
And then they return the other Olympian Kibler. And the class wasn't a huge class that they left. I think Cats left. That's tough.
They got another backstroker in. I think he's a transfer from the University of Denver. He just 47-1 or 47-2.
Right. Cameron Achinachi, right? No, but he's also a 19 low 50 freestyler. It's not even about the backstroke. It's fine. They're fine.
Austin, show us your t-shirt, Austin.
Oh yeah. So, don't mess with Texas. There you go.
Don't go wiping the floor with that, but nice shirt. Listen.
And then second thought, sorry, just before we move on, this is the last thought, I promise.
Keep it going.
I've known guys like Shaine, and again, I want to say this in a way that A&M has done amazing things with their men's program over the last couple of years. So I'm not painting them as a specific program in terms of hierarchy. But when you're the very best swimmer by a large margin on a program that is on the rise, not that it would be put on you by the coaches or anyone specific, but there is an inordinate amount of pressure that gets not put on you, but that you feel. I've known guys at programs that are maybe like 10th to 15th, and they're trying to grow, and they're like the blue chip. When things are going great, you're the big man on campus. And then if you ever fall like a little short, it feels like you fell a lot short. So again, no insider info about that with Casas, but that is another read that I could maybe see from afar, that he did make the Olympic team. Was he close in the 100? I mean,
he got third in the 100 back.
He did get third. Yeah. That's tough to make a change off of getting third. It's like, did you grow your fingernails a little longer that day? I don't know. Those are all the possibilities I'm throwing out there. Is, obviously it's a great pro group, lots of expectations, being the number one guy on a growing program. And then, like you guys said, a new broom sweeps more dirt, just switching coaches to stimulate the next phase of his career. But it is tough to leave when you get third. It's like, man, we wish we could get a shot at getting you the Olympic spot next time.
Austin, did I do Eddie justice with my podcast?
You did exactly what I was hoping you would do, which was ask the questions and keep the questions short and just let him rip.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
That was so cool. That was so cool. And I was so happy you guys went to Cisco's. I literally had a text message typed up for you that said, go to Cisco's. It's where Daryl K. Royal brought Eddie in 1977. Still hasn't had better migas since.
So good.
And that's still the case. So I'm super glad that you guys went. But just back to the interview real quick. I'm glad that someone finally got it down of like, not current events of where Texas is at. Cause I've heard good podcasts with Eddie in the past. It was like, let's just get a football life Eddie Reese down on the vinyl so that everyone knows the deal. I put on my Instagram story to promote it. Like if you've ever asked me, and there are dozens of people that have asked me this question, and there are thousands that have asked other people this question, what's Eddie's secret? He literally laid out everything that he's ever told anybody on that podcast. And I would say the broad point is there is no secret. It's everything mixed together. And you guys did a great job of putting that together.
Yeah. And we have 4 hours pretty much of footage of Eddie coaching on the deck. I mean, Nate had the camera in his face, asking him questions, listening to him talk, interact. We got tons of stuff still we need to release, Nate.
Nate, get Ken Burns on the phone to chop that thing up for you and make a documentary miniseries, man.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. It's kind of funny. I was going through some of it yesterday, and Cisco's is brought up by like everyone that walks on deck. Like Wyatt walks on deck, and he's like, "Hey, you guys are sending them to Cisco's, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So glad we got there.
It's interesting because Torchy's is obviously like the pride of Austin when it comes to. Like if you're someone that's visiting Austin, most people would be like, yeah, let me take you to Torchy's, get the trashy trailer. Like it's our, cool brand that started here. But if like Inner Circle, it's like, but Cisco's is actually where it's
the
at.
Coolest place. We walked in and there was no one there. We just sat down and you could just feel it, man. You could feel the nostalgia. You could feel the history. It was a great place. Highly recommend it.
Did you have the honey and the butter and the squirt bottles at your table?
No, we just had the migas.
The biscuits. The biscuits.
Yeah.
I knew I should have texted you guys. They have honey and butter and squirt bottles there that you can put on a biscuit and then load it up with your breakfast ingredients.
I was looking for that, actually. I was looking for butter. I was like, they got these amazing biscuits and no butter.
Yeah. Nowhere else on earth you can find butter in a squirt bottle, man.
We've been getting this a lot, too. We should do more face-to-face interviews. You guys know that we have full-time jobs, don't you? This is a hobby for us. We do this for fun. Nate actually runs a business. I actually work full-time for Fitter and Faster running clinics. Like, I wish we could get out on the road and do more. This is fun for us.
It's too fun. I look forward to Wednesdays for this live show every single week. I was mad we missed it last week, All right, we're going to keep it moving here because we're way over time, which is fine. But we got the FINA World Cup, okay? The ISL, FINA have been kind of going at it, pushing each other to pay these athletes. FINA's World Cup's been going on for a long time now. ISL's taking a little break. Here we go. First stop, Berlin. It's always the best stop. They got the best techno music. It's usually a party in there. Hopefully with COVID that it can pack the stands and make it feel like they have in the past. I guess like Sonny, like what's the word? Like how many people in Naples are headed now to Germany?
There's a big mixed bag, and I have a few thoughts on it all as well. But for the most part, people are trying to work out the balance of doing some training between now and ISL November, but also trying to make some money and race some more. So some people like Chad's going to go to Berlin and race there, and then he's going to probably get some training in. I've talked to some of the Australians. I spoke to Kyle Chalmers. He's going to go and smash all the World Cups before the ISL. And I guess you've got to think we need a train. We've not really trained since the Olympics now. So some people know they need it in their mind and maybe physically that they need to train without interruption. And some people are just going to ride it out, Vlad Morozov style and Katinka Hozu style and just keep racing. And they're going to probably, by the time World Short Course comes around, raced certain events probably like upwards of 15, 20 times. There's also an interesting thing like the Australians and some people from Hong Kong and stuff. They have nowhere to go. They can't go home because they have to isolate for 2 to 3 weeks in like a hotel, an institutional hotel. So this is sort of like an option for them just to they keep going. FINA will pay for their hotels and stuff in Berlin and Qatar and so forth. So it's like a little bit of a get out of jail for something to do. But one thing I will say is a lot of the athletes, not all of them, but some of them have spoke about, God, there's so much on now. And I think, they want to be pro athletes. We want them to be pro athletes. And, they got a 3-week break after Tokyo, and now they can race a lot and make some money. I personally think it's a no-brainer to do it all. You can rest later, right? Like you can train and catch your breath back. But now FINA are offering more money than ever. ISL are offering more money than ever. Make the most of it, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're a swimmer, if you can sprint, I mean, why wouldn't you want to make a couple of $100,000 now? I mean, you can travel. They'll pay for all the travel, pay for your hotels and food, and make a couple of $100,000. Jeez.
That's actually what's kind of nice about this ISL playoff meet, right? Is there's still money like on the line. These guys aren't just, showing up. They're showing up because if they win, they're going to get paid. Mm-hmm. So that sort of incentivization is always a good thing. I've always liked the World Cups. I wish they were a little more competitive sometimes. But I always thought it was a nice little circuit for people. So yeah, and they go to some of the best places. Like I said, Berlin is, if you've watched the World Cup, Berlin's the best stop every single year. Mm-hmm. So I wish they were going to Sweden too, because that one's usually pretty fun.
All right, move it on.
Let's keep it moving. Obviously, we had Eddie on the pod on Thursday. Tomorrow, we're dropping Greg Bennett, who's been in over 500 triathlons. I think he was voted one of the top 15 most influential triathletes in the whole entire world. He's got a podcast that's very popular amongst triathletes that you've been on. Now you're kind of flipping it and having him on our show. I haven't listened to it yet. What the heck do you guys talk about?
I'm just picking his brain. I'm sure there's a bunch of swimmers out there who have either thought about a triathlon, tried a triathlon, or want to try a triathlon, and there's various levels. You can be completely amateur, fun, friend type stuff to super competitive, and then there's short ones, long ones, marathons. So it's like it seems to me like a great transition for a swimmer, especially that someone maybe wants to stay in the sport but can't stay in the pool. But this is a whole. But anyway, like this guy's one of the best in the world, so he gives us the ins and outs of triathlon, where it's at, the state of the union. What's going on in triathlon right now. We just break it down, and it's just a different feel for me. I've obviously been doing a lot of swimmers and coaches, and I think swimmers will look at this and say, yeah, maybe I want to give that a go. So look, it's seems like a great career path if you are talented in the pool, but something's just not clicking. You may be able to put some shoes on, jump on a bike, and get super competitive in triathlon, possibly, and could be a new career path. But
actually, I have listened to a little bit, and one of the beginning parts, he says like swimmers transition to triathlon really easily on the bike wise, switching over to the bike. You never been on the bike, no problem. Swimmers know how to work hard. They have the system. He said that they can transition to the bike and become very good at that very quickly. Running is usually where they need to work the most. Interestingly enough, I'm good friends with Matt Sharbo, who swam at George Mason, a D1 mid-major school, wasn't the, a superstar swimmer, but became a professional triathlete for many, many years until he just recently retired at like age 35, which is another thing that Greg kind of talks about is like, I guess he kind of says like in his 20s, that's when you start to get good. And then in your 30s as a triathlete, you can really win. And he kind of went into his 40s and he was still competing at a high level. So, I think if there's a lot of people that leave the sport of swimming, especially in college, some of these college teams are now triathlons an NCAA sport. If swimmers can can move over into that sport, I think that'd be a great transition.
Yeah, it's an interesting look at it. Interesting look at triathlon. Boys, you ever done a triathlon?
I haven't, but literally last week, a woman called Lucy Charles Barkley won the Ironman 70.3. She was a swimmer in my region all the way up until maybe 18. And British swimming, if you're like a 400 to 1500 freestyler, Britain like to push you into the open water sort of territory. So they pushed her in that direction. And I guess, I don't know her well enough. I know the ins and outs, but I guess she probably thought, if I'm doing this high meterage and volume for open water, let's do the Ironman where there's a lot of money. She's sponsored by Red Bull now. She's sponsored by these big brands. She's making more money than most swimmers ever will. And yeah, she actually, fun fact, from the British Olympic trials to the 1500 freestyle back in April and comes second. She didn't hit the A time or the B time. She went like 16:40 or something, and it's 16:20 for the A time, which is pretty soft. But yeah, she got back in the pool and comes second at trials, and yeah, just was world champion in Ironman. Yeah, which is pretty cool. But no, I've never done a triathlon. To the answer to the original question,
no
I'm more of an open water guy, as opposed to doing the other parts of a triathlon. I actually used to get together with a couple friends when I was in middle school, and we would do it as a relay. Right. And we would actually hold our own pretty well against like adults doing the relay, because I was a pretty good swimmer, and then my one friend got super into biking, and another one was just a natural runner. No, I have not. It's actually the bike that is the biggest barrier for me.
Bike, really?
I've never been a big biker. I don't want to buy a bike. I didn't learn how to ride a bike till I was like 10. Fun fact about me, honesty corner for us here. I can finish a run, no problem. Maybe not fast, but I wouldn't have an issue just like being competent at the run and just like grinding it out and making sure that my feet keep moving. But I'm more of an open water guy. But this is a chance to shout out my mom. She actually made world championships the first time she ever did a half Ironman.
Whoa.
For her age group in 2014. Yeah, she did it once, made the worlds, went to worlds, did it there, never did one again. Just crossed it off the bucket list. Talk about a high shooting percentage. Just 1-for-1 winner age group at the try that she was at, make worlds, and then shut it down.
You got some talent in your family, man. There's no doubt about that.
I'm a lucky guy. Got a cool mom.
Well, listen, tomorrow, Greg Bennett, great insights into triathlon. Check it out. Good one. Thoughts on Ledecky?
Yeah, we kind of forgot to put this on the list here, but obviously not just a small swimming story, right? The greatest female swimmer ever gets up and leaves Stanford, arguably the greatest university ever, to go to Florida to hang out with the big boys. Brett?
Yeah, I think just for that fact alone, just going to train with the big boys, the guns, the Olympic champions down there that they got, obviously now with Bobby Fink and some obviously other guys down there that can hold their own. But listen, she's renowned as one of the best trainers, men or women, in history. I mean, that girl can do some work. So, look, I think it's a good move. She just lost some of her pet events at the Olympics to a girl that's well coached, well trained. And I think Katie wants to get it back. It seems that way. She's not satisfied. So I love that. And good for her. I think it's a great move. Couldn't be any more supportive of that one. Very good move.
Sonny, any thoughts
super exciting. I obviously you guys are on the back of speaking to Eddie, but I remember reading the book that was done about him, and it speaks about sometimes it's not a coaching flaw, but just someone needs to change the scenery. And Greg seems great. It's not anything against him, but she just needs to change things up and get a breath of fresh air. I think it's exciting, and what a better place to do it than both the Olympic champs at 800 and 1500 in one location right now.
Yep.
Go ahead, Austin.
Okay. I can speak to it because I've seen it work. I think it's only very specific situations where, it seems like it's something that's happened sporadically here and there, and it's worked well, where there's the female athlete that goes to train and like grind with the men's group. Florida's probably the best situation previously before Ledecky, when Beisel was in that training group. And I know that was a good experience when she would mix it up with with Connor Dwyer and with Ryan Lochte, and like I think Peter Vanderkay was in that group leading up to one of those Olympic trials that they did together. So Ledecky is obviously just as much and maybe even more of a grinder than Beisel was somehow, even though I've heard of Blue Fish sets back in the day and they did some insane stuff. And then Kathleen Hersey actually left the women's team at Texas and trained with us as a pro for, I believe, 2 years, year and a half. And that worked out really well for her too. So it's got to be a specific situation. It's got to be the right kind of person, but it definitely is something that can work. Because she is training with the men, right? She's training with Dusty and with Karen and with Bobby.
Yeah,
I think that's an awesome setup. I mean, why not go to the guy that like?
Well, actually, it's a combined program now. Men and women train together now.
But go to the guy and think that's just probably the best training partner you can possibly find as a distance swimmer, right? And she'll be able to handle the intervals. She'll be able to handle, I know when Kathleen was with us at Texas, I mean, she would go, if she was feeling it one day, she'd go first in the lane for our long course sets where there'd be 8 to 10 dudes in a lane and she would kick our butts. So I see Ledecky just crushing at Florida. I think it's a great match theoretically.
Yeah, well, it doesn't surprise me that a woman kicked your butt, but
No, man, that I used to get my butt kicked by Elizabeth Pelton and Felicia Lee in high school back in, and Kate. Oh my God, Katie Hoff would lap me back in the day, dude.
No doubt.
Long history of having a lot of respect for just the really high end, intense female swimmer in training. Like they would crush me.
Sure. Are we finish up here, Nate?
What's this UVA thing?
Yeah, what's this UVA thing, Nate?
We're going to Charlottesville, baby.
Nice.
Oh.
Wahoo wah.
People want more in person. Why not?
Yeah, they're right up the road. UVA, 2.5 hour drive here from Virginia Beach for us. Got to go see our boy Todd, Wes Foltz, all the entire crew there.
We had so much fun doing the orange and white down in Texas, just that live show. It was fun. It was cool. And they're doing their little swim meet. Their
orange and blue.
They're splitting it up on Saturday. And we figured, why not?
So we're going to hit the road.
UVA Saturday live on the pool deck. Sonny, how's this, mate? Look at it. Look at us. Hey, Australia's in lockdown. My parents haven't been out of the house in 6 months. And we're on the
You guys are going to college dual meets, baby. Let's go.
I love it.
College inter squad meets.
College inter squad, even better. I actually think inter squad meets are more fun than dual meets, just from a viewer's perspective, personally.
Well, obviously, like we were at your alma mater last week, so a little too easy for you. But I thought the coolest part was, look, like most of this stuff is, we don't have a real plan. Like we're not incredibly prepared people.
Sure.
We kind of just show up and wing it. And we put together basically an entire podcast studio at Texas. And then people like Tate Jackson were just coming down from the stands, literally, on our level. And just, I don't even think I was in the live show the entire time.
Not much.
I was just filming and letting the alumni really chatted up, which, man, you got the comments section. They were going back and forth. Maxime did an unbelievable job. And I'm sure that was a nice little treat for you Texas folks. So hopefully the same thing will happen.
Yeah.
We'll get some UVA alum there.
Yes. If you're a UVA alum, come down and join the podcast. Put the headphones on and get on the microphone.
And of course, Nova's right there. So they fed that program for a long time, so there should be some local people, no problem.
Yeah.
To comment on UVA as a former coach that got to pop in for a cup of tea for a year, their alumni network it might be the best I've ever seen. Like I might even I would put them on par with Texas Swimming's. Those people stay connected, they stay friends, and I hope there are people in the area because theoretically they should be showing up. Yeah, I really like that program, and it's cool that you guys are going to be hanging out with them because they got a great setup there right now.
Austin, you got 40 seconds to tell us what you're doing right now. What are you doing in your life?
I'm getting the swimming and diving community on Match Point Connection. So if you're watching and you run a business, you want to sponsor college athletes, go to that
URL
link. Yeah, go to the URL right on the ticker at the bottom, matchpointconnection.com. Also, download our app in the iOS or the Android store. We're a two-sided marketplace where brands and athletes can connect. We cut the agents out of it. We're kicking them to the curb.
Nice.
So hit us up, sponsor some college athletes. College athletes, hop on. We've got a lot of swimmers joining already, and it's going to be my job to grow the aquatics community on the app.
Cool.
Yeah, beautiful. For some reason, I want to stop right on 60. Swimsuit guy, Sonny, awesome being here. Boys.
Pleasure as always, boys.
Any last words there, Sonny?
60.
Oh, you had the 60.
I had the 60, man. I had it lined up. It was just so prime.
All right, I super got to go, so I'm not waiting for the next zero to come around.